What is up, athletes? So I wanted to speak to a question that I get asked quite a bit in the chats, which is how do you stay so motivated? And for a lot of you who already know, you guys are going to know the answer. And what I say is I'm not motivated anymore. And what I mean by that is when you do something enough, there's not a driving motivating factor. Now, are there some days that I feel like doing it more or less? Sure. But the reality of it is that's the same way that we go towards work, towards school, anything that we're obliged to do. We're human and we're supposed to kind of ride that roller coaster of emotions. And that's the point with the word motivation. It's an emotion. So when you ride an emotion, you're riding its wave up and down. And some days you'd feel like doing it, other days you don't. But for most of us, when it comes to our jobs, when it comes to going to school, when it comes to showing up places that we have signed on to be at, we are there sometimes even against, our better judgment. Sometimes we go in sick. Sometimes we go in just not feeling well, what have you. But that's consistency and discipline. That's the discipline. That's the consistency to show up every day, even on days that you don't feel like it. You're not motivated to do it. You just know that you need to. You know that if you don't go to work, you lose that money. And sometimes, that affects your ability to pay bills and feed the family, things like that. If you don't go to school, if you're not there for the lecture or for the courses or things like that, when those quizzes and tests come, the parts that really impact your grade, and you're not aware of what it is that you are supposed to be putting down on that paper or on that computer, that's going to have a negative effect on you. So we do that because we know this. Now, a lot of times, I think what people forget is your health is way more important than a paycheck or a grade. We do want the best for ourselves when it comes to the areas that we invest ourselves in, but this is why consistency and discipline is important when it comes to your health and fitness. Getting up and doing something, even just at the minimum. They say like to learn like a language. Sometimes you see these apps where it's like, oh, all you need is 10, 20 minutes a day. That's all you need for your fitness. You don't have to get up and go anyplace, just like you don't have to go to, if you're trying to learn German, you don't have to go to Germantown in your area or Koreatown or any other area. You can do those things at home. Same thing with the workouts. The world is a gym. And so that motivation has to kind of, after a while, we all start with something. We're inspired or motivated by something, video we've seen, somebody else doing it, what have you. But then there's a point where you take that over. And same thing with your job, or same thing with the course of study that you are following. After a while, the inspiration that took you to that place is now exchanged for consistency and discipline. And I speak to this quite often. If you are a good student, and you go to school every day, but you're poor at working out, this is the same energy. You just have to take this mindset and allow it to start to grow over here. Plant the seeds of consistency and discipline. But what does it take? It takes starting off and doing it. You went to that class or that college or that school and you got enrolled. And then you started showing up and you listened, you took notes, all those things. You can do the same thing over here. You can ask questions. You can research the materials that you want for the goals that you have set. Learn how to prepare your meals, all of those things. There's so much that's available to us online that a lot of times I think we allow ourselves to feel like, well, I don't know, and so therefore I'm not going to. And that's a disservice to ourselves. That's a disservice to say, I just don't know, and so I'm not going to do it, when we know that there's so many other things that we research that are of lesser benefit to us. We learn dances, we learn little song lyrics, we learn all these things online, so we can learn how to eat better, how to do better, just like you can learn how to study better. When I went back to school, I had to learn how to study again. I was great at working out, getting up and doing that, but consistency and discipline as a student was something I hadn't been in tune with in quite some time. So this is not a knock on anybody. When you are out of something for a while, then the ability to know it intimately and accurately is not always going to be there. So when you have something like a fitness regimen that you want to embark upon, find what's going to work for you, but you have to stick with it. That's the big part. So when people ask about my motivation, it's no longer motivation. After a while, what is it? Your thought should become an action. Your actions over time, it will become a habit. That becomes your lifestyle. So this is where I'm at. This is my lifestyle. This is just what I do, and this is what I enjoy doing. So find what's going to bring you joy while you're doing it. I don't want to see people consistently going to some place that they don't enjoy and doing some things that they don't really feel are beneficial for them. Because again, it might change your body, but if your mind isn't in it and your heart's not in it, find something that will work for you. So instead of going and doing those gym workouts, maybe dance classes are going to fit you better. Maybe some, or reverse. If you don't like the dance, then go to the gym or find something that's going to work for you. Find Tai Chi, yoga, HIIT workouts. There's so many other areas, or just go for a walk and just be able to think on your own. But guys, it's got to start with something. So I understand the motivation, and people say all the time, I just need to get motivated, or you guys motivate me. I'm inspired. Cool. Once you get that spark, take that spark with you. Take that spark and make it something that you do every day. Let that spark get a little bit bigger, little bit bigger, little bit bigger, and go from there. And then in no time at all, you're on your path to consistency and discipline. I do want to acknowledge the word discipline because a lot of times people feel, or they say that it has like a heaviness to it. Discipline is not a punishment. It's a reward. It's a reward for getting you away from all of the habits that got you to the point to recognize I need to change something. So discipline sounds heavy, and while there is a sobering factor about it, but isn't it high time? If we've been laying on the couch too long, eating the wrong foods, working that job that just doesn't challenge us anymore, ditching school, like all of those are the lighthearted things. Those are the things that got us to the point where the discipline needs to come in. So welcome it in. Look at it as the freedom that it's going to be. If you discipline yourself to study, you will get better grades. Therefore, you have a shot at a better job. And there's your reward. Your reward is not going to be instant. And I think that's the problem when we talk about discipline, because people want to compare it to what they've been doing. Well, of course, discipline is going to shut all that stuff down, as well it should. But it doesn't mean that it's anything less than a reward. It's not a punishment. But because we live in a day and age of instant gratification, nobody wants to practice delayed gratification and see the bigger picture down the road. And that's where we have to get back to. That's what consistency and discipline is going to do for you. So when I say these things, I say it with everybody's best interest at heart. I want people to experience consistency and discipline the same way you do it in other areas of your life, and you see the benefits of it. Now, again, we don't always feel like doing it, but when payday comes around, when those midterms come around, that midterm grade comes around, when you go back to the doctor and your blood work or your weight is down, that's the reward. That's when you go back and look and say, wow, that discipline really did that for me. Because the opposite of discipline is just weakness. It's just succumbing to anything at any time. And that's what got us in this spot where we needed to study more. We needed to work better or find a better job, or fired from a job. Sometimes it gets that dire, kicked out of school, or told by a doctor that your health is really failing you. So guys, I just wanted to speak to that because a lot of times I do get asked about how am I motivated, and it's a fair question, but my answer is brief, that I'm not motivated. I'm on consistency and discipline, and it's been that way for quite some time, but there's always a starting place for all of us. So I just wanted to put that out there, but I hope this helps. And I hope that anybody with any questions, comments, or concerns will leave your ace up the sleeve in the comments, your advice, comment, experience, and that way we can have a dialogue about it. But in the meantime, I hope this finds everybody in your place, pursuit or beginnings of total health, mind, body, and soul. and this is the Impact Athletics Association. And you know, like we like to say, HWPO, and that means hard work pays off. So, guys, I'm going to get out of here, but in the meantime, I'm going to leave another couple videos and possibly a subscription button. So, stick around.